Hello, parents. Welcome to the Masterful Parenting Podcast. I'm Ann Alvarez, parent coach, school counselor, and mom of two. Do you struggle with your relationship with your kids because you carry childhood pain? Do you get triggered by your child's behavior, become irrational, and maybe even yell at your children? Maybe you want to be a better parent, but you don't know how. Instead of repeating old patterns, you want to heal your pain, become more aware of your child's needs, feel connected to your kids, and learn the tools to communicate better so you can truly enjoy your parenting. If you are ready to heal your childhood pain, raise healthy, connected, and happy kids, and end the cycle of parenting with pain, then join me. Our kids deserve it, and we can do this. Let's go. Hello, parents. Welcome to the Masterful Parenting Podcast. I am so excited because we have a special guest. Her name is Michelle Mintz. She is the early development expert, and she has a background in speech-language pathology for over 25 years. She specializes in working with children from birth to age 5. Welcome, Michelle.
Hi, thank you. I'm so happy to be here today.
Oh, so happy to have you here. Okay, we're going to start out with some questions for parents, okay? So why is the age range of 0 to 5 years of age so important in brain development?
That's a great question. So when children are born, they're actually not done cooking yet. We think they're done cooking, but they're not. They come out and children are still from birth to 5 have neuron connections that haven't been formed yet. And so they're actually waiting to be able to have these nerves in the brain come together. And the more nerve connections there are, the smarter, the brighter, the happier person that we have. So the way that we have the brain connections come together is by the experiences that the children have. And the experiences are all based on how the parents and adults are interacting with those children birth to 5. So their experiences are not experience like going to Disneyland, but simple experience of diaper changing can be very engaging and very enriching and helping to develop the brain connections that still need to be formed up until about age 5.
Wow, that's fascinating. So, is this a very accelerated growth part, like in development of the brain, like that 0 to 5 range? Is that this is really the an important time uh, for developing those connections?
Absolutely. Optimal time is, birth to 5. We still learn things obviously after 5 years old, but the actual neuron connections in the brain that need to come together and form do that until age 5. So we want to take advantage of those years. We want to make the most of those years. So how you respond to your babies and toddlers make the difference into whether or not another brain connection will be formed or it won't. So if you just hand them the item that they want, you've missed an opportunity to actually talk about the item, have a little smile together, and then you've actually increased attention and you've made a neural connection there that is helpful for the brain rather than just quickly giving them what they want and you've missed that opportunity. So yes, this is the optimal time and you want to be able to learn how to take advantage of this time.
Wow, that's so exciting. So, what are 3 tips you can give parents on how to support their child's brain development?
So I love giving strategies, right? Strategies that you can use right as soon as you get off this podcast and you can start working with your babies and toddlers. So one of my first tips is we need to increase eye contact. Eye contact is a very important part of socialization and communication with other people. So the way that you increase eye contact with babies and toddlers is the item that they want, whether it be their bottle or a book or the car, their eyes are going to be on that item. So you want to take that item and you want to put it right next to your eyes. So you all can't see me right now, but I'm taking my sunglasses and I'm putting them right next to my face, right next to my eyes. And that way, the baby is going to be able to very easily shift their eyes from that object to my eyes. And then I've got an engagement. And then I've got another brain development, another brain connection that's been formed. As I was saying, instead of just handing it to them, now we're increasing eye contact by bringing that item up by your eye, having that moment together, and then being able to give that. So that's one tip, eye contact, which I absolutely love. Okay.
Wow.
My second tip is watch, pause, and listen. As parents, we need to take care of newborn infancy's needs very quickly, and we need to attend to them so that that newborn and infant knows, and that baby knows that somebody's there in the world to help, and they feel safe when their needs are met. But at some point, we need to kind of slow down how fast we take care of those needs to allow the child, the baby, to communicate to us that they need something or they want something. Because if we do it too quickly, we've taken away their opportunity for communicating to us. So in other words, for example, child's at a high chair. This is very common. Something falls off of the high chair. A parent goes and picks it up and puts it back on the high chair. Okay. This happens a million times a day, right? Yeah. So you've missed that opportunity to look down at the item that fell and then look at your baby, and your baby looks at you and you talk about how, the banana fell down. And then you look at each other and you look down at the banana, you look at each other, you go, we need to pick it up. How we're going to pick it up. So you've got vocabulary, you've got, and you've got the watching your baby, and what are they going to communicate back to you? Then they look at the banana and you look at the banana, and you're having a conversation, which might be a quiet conversation, nonverbal, but it is a conversation nonetheless. And you have to watch and allow that baby, that child, to have that communication to you. So don't open that bag of goldfish so quickly, or that, that snap trap, whatever that is, with the child hands you something, you know that they can't open and they want it open. But if you just open it, you've missed that opportunity. So you need to look at them and kind of say, what do you need? And maybe they're going to shove it at you, or maybe they're going to, or maybe they're going to say, open, whatever level they're at. We want to allow them that opportunity to have that communication. So then you know how best to respond back to them, bringing them to that next level. So eye contact, watch, pause, and listen. So you're pausing more and allowing for that baby to communicate. And the third tip that I can give is less questions, more statements. What you will find after this podcast and you go is, in your day, you are asking your babies and toddlers questions all the time that they can't answer. Are you hungry? Do you want your bottle? Are you ready for your bath? Are we do we gonna go here? Are you ready to do this? Okay. They can't answer. Oh, you want the glasses? You know that they want the glasses because they're reaching for the glasses. You know that they're hungry because it's their hungry time. But they're not going to be able to answer that because that's not the level that they're at. They're not going to say, yes, I'm hungry. Okay. So I want more statements. Oh, you're hungry. You want something to eat. Lila says, I'm hungry. It's bath time. Okay. So some kids, bath time's a struggle. So if you say, are you ready for your bath? They're going to say no, because then you've given them a choice. So you have to be careful about what questions you're asking, because you have to be, do you want answers to those questions? And then how many questions are you asking that they can't answer and that really you should be modeling? Do you see the airplane? Okay. Airplane. I see the airplane. Okay. So less questions, more statements. Eye contact and watch, pause, listen. Those are my 3 tips in a little nutshell, and I'm happy to go into more information if you want to give me a call. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. And do you also think it's better to not be so wordy? Do you also think, because you use the term, you said airplane, right? Because
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
like, oh, I hear that word. Do you
Right.
know what I
Right.
mean?
So again, it depends on the sort of the age or the level, the developmental level of where your child is. So we're talking, birth to 5, that is actually, there's quite a big difference between that. So if you're talking about like around 1 year old, 18 months, 2 years old, where we're developing vocabulary and language, we really want to label. This is another, here's a 4th tip. You asked for the 4th one because I always think so much. Yeah. You want to do a lot of labeling and naming because that is how they're going to develop their vocabulary. So for that age and that level, if you say, look, do you see the airplane in the sky? Oh, it's going. They're not going to be able to have any kind of repetition of what that is. So the first thing you say when you've got their attention immediately is labeling that item. Airplane. I see the airplane. And so then you can go into saying things and more simple when you're getting to maybe 4 and 5-year-olds who are already producing sentences. And so they're at a bit of a higher level. You might be able to, or you should be able to ask more deeper questions and produce sentences that have more words. So it really depends on the level of the child, but that's a good question because we want to do less wordy when we're trying to increase vocabulary. Yeah.
Perfect. Perfect. Oh, that's so good. Okay. My 3rd question. Why is it important to wean our babies off the pacifier early?
Mm-hmm. Okay. So a pacifier is an excellent tool for pacifying. And so we start that often when children are, newborns, and it's great. And it's a self-soothing, and it's great. For later on, I like to start thinking about getting rid or weaning off the pacifier around 6, 7, 8 months old. That you start to wean that, because when a child has a pacifier in their mouth, the sucking motion of that tongue that comes forward to suck on the nipple part of the pacifier can sometimes negatively impact speech and language development, because that tongue gets used to being thrust forward. And so then you have a child who speaks with their tongue thrust forward, and hopefully you can hear the difference on the podcast of me talking with my tongue thrust forward as opposed to me talking without my tongue thrust forward. I can't pronounce my sounds accurately. And one of the worst things to do is to allow a child to speak with a pacifier in their mouth at that time. The tongue, the teeth, the lips, the jaw, they're all important for producing sounds accurately. And if something is in their way or not working properly, sounds are not going to be produced accurately. So if a pacifier is in somebody's mouth and they're trying to talk with something in their mouth around like this, then when the pacifier comes out, they're so used to that, their tongue not touching where it needs to be and going, they're practiced in a routine, if you will, of learning a very poor habit and then need to relearn how to speak again. So we want to balance the knowledge of knowing they need something to pacify and self-soothe. So we need that mental, emotional piece that we want to be aware of and not just say, okay, you don't need this anymore and take it away. So we have to be aware of that, but we also want to be thinking of either a replacement or what we can do so that we wean it off. And that's very, very important to be thinking about. And that's why I've written a children's book about weaning off a pacifier. There are many books written, but they're really written for 3 and 4 and 5-year-olds because they have a long story about a fairy that's coming to take the passies away. And it's lovely, but it's a long story. It's not for an 8-month-old or a 9-month-old to relate to and listen to. So I wrote a book myself called All Done Binky. It's got bright colors, beautiful pictures, and really simple words. And so I had to write it myself. And it goes through the weaning process in a very simple way. And there's lots of language because you talk about the teddy bear and the red shirt and the car, and so you can use it for so much language as well. And it happens to be available on Amazon. So All Done Binky, to help you with the weaning process.
That's amazing, Michelle. Thank you so much. That's going to be very helpful for parents. I was lucky because my boys didn't like the pacifier.
Yes.
They both spit it out right away. So
that's good. That's easier.
But if parents are, if your babies are using pacifiers, it's a very good tip to wean them off, just to make sure that their speech development is really good, right?
There you go.
Yeah. Okay, that's so amazing. Great, great tips. Michelle, I just want you to maybe tell our audience about your baby blooming moments and also how they can find you if they want to work with you.
Absolutely. I love to share these tips, these strategies. Some people call them baby hacks. I've got so many of them. And that's where Baby Blooming Moments, that's the name of my very unique company. So with my speech and language background of specializing children birth to 5, I found that my strategies are wonderful for not just children who are delayed, but every parent, grandparent, nanny, anybody who has children or works with children birth to 5, even preschool teachers and daycare providers. They should all know how to enrich these years. So what you're already doing is wonderful, but let's take it to this next level where how you are reading, how you are responding, how you are talking, how you are playing can be very much more enriched by just applying these little strategies throughout your day. So that's what Baby Blooming Moments is all about, is I coach my strategies, either in person, where I'm in Santa Monica, California, or virtually. So you can reach me from anywhere. And I catch moments in the moment and help you learn how to make that a more enriching moment. So where you're diapering, you're bathing, you're feeding, you're already playing, you're already doing what you're doing. You're just going to do a little tweak and implement this eye contact strategy, or wait a little longer, and you're going to see a great difference. So Baby Blooming Moments, you can find me at my website, babybloomingmoments.com. You can, of course, email me, michelle@babybloomingmoments.com. You can call me at 424-226-2206. I give free 30-minute consultations, so there's absolutely no reason why you shouldn't contact me and be able just to learn a little bit more, because there'll be something else that I will coach you on. I am on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, all at Baby Blooming Moments. LinkedIn is Michelle Mintz. I've got All Done Binky on Amazon. So I'm everywhere. Just find me. And some say it's never too late. I say it's never too early. And as babies bloom, families blossom. So please allow me to help your family blossom.
I love that, Michelle. I love it so much. I was thinking, like, I'm not at the baby stage anymore, but I look forward to being a grandma someday. And for all the grandparents out there, you're also a great resource if they are looking after babies, right? So,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Grandparents knew what to do with their kids,
yeah.
when they were, but this is a whole new way to connect um and make those brain connections, but what you're also doing is you're making a deeper connection with your baby and toddler, which helps them feel safe in this world today. So, thank
Wow,
you.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, Michelle Mintz. I really appreciate your expertise and coming on the show today. So before we go, I just want to thank you, parents, for joining. And I want to give you, I always like to do the takeaways. Okay. So the takeaways of the show today are those of you with babies 0 to 5, increase your eye contact. Okay. That's the first thing. Second tip was to watch, pause, and listen. Don't rush because it's an opportunity to connect with your kid and have communication and develop the brain that's so important. Now, number 3, less questions and more statements. Okay, because they can't answer your questions, so you want to make them into statements, and then just making sure that to develop vocabulary, that you're labeling and naming things. That was the 4th tip that Michelle gave us. And remember, these 0 to 5 is so important for developing those neuron connections. And so we want to implement these tips that Michelle's given us today. So thank you again, Michelle. Really appreciate you joining us today. And thank you, parents. You know, I love you. And I'm so excited to see you for the next episode. All right. Take care. I hope this helps. If this podcast inspired, blessed, or changed you in any way, I would love for you to share this with your family and friends on your Instagram page and tag me at Masterful Parenting. And join my Masterful Parenting Facebook page or DM me for more parenting support. And I will meet you here real soon. Remember, be relational with your kids and you will see a change. Love to all you parents out there. Let's change the world one parent at a time.